So COVID has taught me, as well as probably you, one basic thing, and that was to not live life with any regrets. And when we had last year's March shutdown of school, in June, when teachers and I got together, we were a little disappointed, to say the least, that we did not have any data on our students. Every year, we grab data twice in September and then in May again. And we use MAP as our testing to gather data on children to compare them to how things are going from that child standpoint compared to the country and to see what growth is being made. It's always nice to see where they start the year out and then where they end the year and to see the growth that does take place in our students. And we didn't have that because we were shut down and all we had was this September data. So we met and we felt like it's important for us to grab data when we have our kids. MAP, the system, lets schools test 3 times a year. You can test in September, you can test in the winter, which is in January for our school, and then you can test again in May. And typically we choose to just test twice a year in a normal school year because testing does involve time away from the classroom instruction. And some students do have test anxiety, so we don't choose to put that extra test on kids unless we absolutely have to. So some students do get tested in January in any given year. Usually it's students who have struggled or they didn't meet their benchmark in the fall, and we've been giving them interventions. So we want to see in January how those interventions are faring, but we never do the entire school. This year, we have decided to test the entire school in January. It's a very unpredictable year. It was, and I feel like it still is. And we hope that we can stay open. That's our plan. That's our goal. But again, you never know. So I would rather be proactive, have data in January than to be kicking myself in May and June and feeling like, oh my gosh, here we are, and we didn't have gather any data on the students. So this is just a little update to let you know that if you have a child in 2nd grade through 8th grade, we will be testing your child in the month of January, MAP testing in the areas of reading and math. Aside from having that data point at our fingertips, it also is going to be helpful. We did see our students come back to school in September, and overall, generally, the students were behind where they were predicted to be because of the shutdown. Our students are still above the national average as a whole, so that's a blessing, and we're very grateful for that. But comparatively to where Lumen Christi students generally are, kids came in, again, generally behind that. It's nothing that was alarming. When we looked at the entire population, we did see that. So our teachers, we kept our bar set at the same exact point. We expect our example 5th grade students this year, we want them to be where last year's 5th grade students were in January, where that expectation is. We didn't lower the bar, we kept it the same. So we've been working so hard. Students have been working so hard, teachers have been working so hard to kind of fill that gap that was missed, as well as get those students up to par. So this will really be nice for us as a school to see, have our efforts really paid off, have the instructional strategies that we've used, the resources that we've utilized, are those making the impact that we're hoping they're making. So we will be able to see where these students are. So it's kind of a twofold benefit. Individual students to see where they are, but then generally we can assess ourselves as a school to see how we are doing. I will update you in February. No, it'll probably be more March because we're going to be still testing that first week of February. So I won't have data for everybody. So I'll update you in March as to what the school scores look like to see how we're doing. So watch for that in March. Your child's reports that you receive in June will show their September score, their January score, and then again, their May score. So they'll take the test in January. You as a parent will receive that data on their end of the year report.